Halo, tes. Udah balikan ya?
Knights and aristocrats
Tiba-tiba
share the same
putus
cultural
dong.
heritage.
Kenapa ya?
But the knights had enough sense to do
Internet
away
gak
with all the
kenapa-napa loh.
superfluous detail.
Oh, sorry. Ada kesalahan teknis, mohon maaf. Ya udahlah ya. Untung pas banget itu pas selesai abis coba. Coba kalau bukan. Tadi mau ngapain ya? Lupa lagi. Oh ya. Kazuha, Yanpei, si Juenet. Kalau ininya masih pakai gula. Sih. Gini. 2 geo 2 krayo gitu. Sama siapa ya? Jangan sama Kai aja. Let's go B4 geng.
Witness the power of Gugwa.
Ya elah belum apa-apa.
Know my sword. Time to act.
Salah.
Clouds high. The birds call. Time for your arraignment. Yikes! Rain cutter. Body and mind.
Into the wind. Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Everybody stand back! Incinerate! Boom boom! Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your...
Kejauhan.
Let's light it up!
Awas. Mengganggu aja.
Incinerate! I'm going in! Boom boom!
Agak lama ya.
I will have order. Dodge this. Don't get frostbite.
Freeze to the core! Rack and ruin!
Feel this ancient power. Solidify. Order guide you. Cool it.
Crush!
Halo Vera. Email.
Beg for mercy!
Burst forth.
Masih zaman manggil gue Vera.
Eye for an eye! Flood of frost!
Gampang banget diculik gitu. Nice. Enggak nice. Udah bagus nih.
I
Double
condemn
kayu
you.
susah aja nge-crit dasar. Gila. Cacat banget. Lo kan emang nama lu Vera. Iya. Vera kok bener. Nggak salah. Hai Ibel. Hai Vera. Hai Ibel. Hai Vera. Hai Ibel.
You'll get frostbite. Pay your dues.
Know my sword!
You can't run. Well,
The wind knows me.
Rain cutter.
One with nature. As one with wind and cloud.
Oh, lu udah jarang ke Discord.
Inadmissible evidence.
Iya, gue udah jarang aktif di Discord gara-gara gue lagi kerja di Bandung, kayak nggak sempet kayak 9 to 5 gitu. 8 to 5 sih actually. Jadi gitu deh. udah dapet kerjaan alhamdulillah.
Motion to compel.
Gitu. Terus tempat gue tinggal nggak ada wifi, jadi kayak sayang kuota gimana gitu.
Teamwork is
Kalau mau join Discord jadi agak mikir deh gitu.
Boom boom.
Aduh kok.
The birds call.
Thank you.
Motion to compel.
Oh, dia nambah. Lupa gue. Dia nge-heal. Matiin dulu, woy. Pantes jadi lama gak konsen gue.
Boom boom. Witness the power of Gugwa. Everybody stand back. Motion to compel.
Suara lu kegede. Oh iya, bentar gue setting dulu. Masih kegedean ya? Kalau segini udah cukup belum? Suara desktopnya gue kecilin. Bukan dari gamenya sih. Hopefully kedengeran ya. Udah enak didengar kah? Halo. Malah nggak ada suara game ya. Padahal iya, soalnya di gue tuh setting gamenya tuh udah kayak 5 gitu loh, 5/10 volumenya. Tapi malah masih kegedean ternyata. Bentar deh, nanti gue setting lagi deh. Oh, tinggal gamenya gedean dikit lagi. Oke. Bentar ya. Bentar. Dah. Segini suara gamenya masih kekecilan kah? Atau udah cukup? Berarti di 3 aman tuh. Harusnya sih ya. Segini udah enak didengar belum? Aman. Oke. Thank you Ibel udah ngingetin. Maklum streamer noob.
Know my soul. Rain cutter. Breath of the flame. Incinerate.
Ow.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Let me.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
Going in.
Kok lu stream pagi-pagi lu morning person banget ya orangnya. Gila, gue sih morning person abis. Gak, soalnya gue kan gue lagi di Jakarta nih, Bel. Nah, minggu tuh gue udah balik lagi ke Bandung. Jadi takutnya nggak sempat streaming, nggak sempat main game lagi. Jadi gue sekalian streaming pagi deh. Soalnya jam 12 nanti gue mau ada kegiatan lain. Jadi yaudah deh, santai dulu deh pagi-pagi gitu.
Freeze. So sorry.
Freeze to the core. Crush.
Kayak mumpung masih di Jakarta gitu loh. Sayang aja kalau nggak live stream. Gue nggak bisa, kayak gerak gue terbatas cuy di Bandung. Kayak aduh mau ngapa-ngapain susah, nggak ada wifi. Gila, gue bergantung sama internet banget ya. Iya seperti itu betul Ibel.
Ancient power. Stabilize.
Kok lu nemu aja sih YouTube gua, heran gua Bel.
Freeze. This is order. This moment will be frozen in time.
This moment will frozen. Susah kan lo, susah kan lo.
Shudder.
Cool it.
Dasar milenial budak internet. Ngaca bos. Lu nggak ada wifi, lu nggak ada internet juga kejang-kejang. Ya anjir, gue mau ngapain? Aduh, gue tidak bisa beraktivitas. Bisa lah kan gue reset. Reset apa tuh? Salah. Buset. Bawa diluk. Diluk di bawah kali. Apa? Yula lagi di bawah ya. Yula sih. Oh, channel. Gila berat banget bahasanya, riset. Lu badan statistik pusat. Badan statistik Indonesia lu. Gini kali ya. Sama ini. Kalau ini Diona apa Jean ya? Tapi kayaknya Shogun kayak nggak guna banget deh. Pakai siapa ya? Kaya deh. Terus ini baru Diona di sini kali ya. Gini. Apa Singchu? Enggak jangan. Biasanya gue lawan Thunder Manifest pakai itu sih. Pakai Yula kalau di open world. Ya udah ya. Kita coba saja. Selain channel lu punya Gucci juga kan atau Balenciaga gitu. Oh punya, gue mah punya. Apa yang lu sebut gue punya sumpah. Nggak percaya lu. Gue nih orang yang apa? Trust me, it's from me gitu. Karena sumbernya dari gue, jadi lu harus percaya. Gue tuh orangnya kayak gitu. Karena gue 100% valid orangnya. Gue nggak mungkin bohong. Gue punya channel, bukan channel ya, channel. Gue punya Balenciaga. Gue punya Gucci. Ngono lo. Lupa ini albedo. Katanya udah bisa ditarik ya? Cuman sama sudah gue duga. Ditariknya tuh sama itu doang ya? Sama Eventi. Oh, ketarik ya? Tariknya sih.
Life goes on. Opening box of Adepti tricks.
Come into being. Witness
Karena
my
gue
great
lagi
undertaking.
konsentrasi penuh.
Wind strike. Live into the wind.
Sabar.
Adorn my night. Dawn.
BTW gue kagak main Genshin. Gue nggak bahas Genshin soalnya kagak ngerti gitu ya. Gak apa-apa. Channel gue mah bebas. Boleh ngebahas apa aja. Kita kaum open minded Bel. Apa aja boleh dibahas. Lu Sabtu gini biasanya ngapain, Bel?
Think you can get away? Brace yourself.
Don't get frostbite. Order guide you.
Suffocate.
Shudder.
Freeze.
Time for takeoff.
Bagaimana dengan Jokowi 3 periode? Gak, gue nggak mau bahas politik. But I think 3 periode itu melanggar konstitusi. Sekian.
This is order.
Oh no. Woi. Kampret lu.
Crush. Yahoo! Think you can get away?
Gue hanya 1 hari gue gabut gak ada kerjaan. Emang lu nggak kuliah ya? Lu ngapain sih emang? Lu lagi ngapain maksudnya? Apa yang lagi lo kejar gitu loh?
Time for takeoff. Brace
Ya elah
yourself.
jauh dong.
Order guide you. Don't get frostbite.
Vengeance will be mine. Beg for mercy. Eye for an eye.
Alhamdulillah. Nope, gue gak kuliah, gue lagi bikin video aja sih. Oh iya, lu kan di TikTok ya? Lo nggak di TikTok doang nih platform yang lu itu? Lo nggak bikin di Reels Instagram? Tentang apa sih konten yang lu bikin?
Coming to be. One with nature. Dawn, break forth.
Dua lagi mana? Oh.
Burst forth.
Sacred name, fortune preserver.
Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. Coming to be. Feel this ancient power. Flames, purge. Gather.
Think you can get away? Here we go.
This is order. Dodge this.
Shudder.
Oh, sketsa komedi. Tentang apa emang itunya? Maksudnya, kok tentang apa kan gue nanya
Beg
lagi.
for mercy.
Itu username lu apa? Username TikTok lu? Bisa gue cari mungkin ntar.
This moment will be frozen.
Break.
Tapi udah lama juga nggak upload. Ya sayang banget, kenapa gak dilanjutin? Siapa tahu rame lu jadi konten kreator TikTok nomor 1 se-Indonesia anjay. Kayak gue kejauhan ya mikir. Gak apa-apa kan, aminin aja dulu.
Solidified. Freeze.
Gak ada salahnya bermimpi, bos. Aja.
I will have order.
Flood of frost. Shudder.
Nice. Dev 40 apa M ya? Dev aja deh. Buat Ayang Albedo mah. Gue tuh paling males ya kalau abis viral tuh kayak bos gini.
Burst forth.
Nggak enak cuy.
Wind strike.
Salah. Bisa nggak ya?
Coming to be.
Aduh.
Rise.
Burst forth.
Kayak kemarin gak kayak begini dah di World. Aduh, cacat. Harus pakai Yula aja ini sih. Gak usah lari-lari, kampret. Lari-lari mulu, kurang ajar. Namanya akun sama kayak gue. Nama gue sebenarnya gue mau aktif lagi tapi mau rebranding sih niatnya. Apa Ibel 1440 itu namanya. Ntar deh, nanti gue cari deh. Gue udah nggak download TikTok soalnya udah gue uninstall sejak ada Reels. Lagi mengurangi sosmed di HP gue. Tapi gimana ya? Instagram agak-agak licik-licik gimana gitu sih emang. Semuanya dia embat tapi dia yang lebih ramai gitu kan. Instagram.
Go.
Is that all you've got? Flames! Purge!
Ya nggak bisa ini sih 7 detik anjay. 7 detik 7 menit nggak keburu sih ini. Iya nggak usah download lagi toxic soalnya TikTok. Nah tapi lu platformnya main di TikTok gimana sih? Ya. Sebenarnya bukan masalah aplikasinya Ibel, itu orang-orangnya aja. Tapi kalau lu menemukan orang yang tepat di FYP lu ya sebenarnya ada banyak. Dulu TikTok gue tuh seputar gambar kok. Maksudnya nggak ada yang joget-joget segala macam. Jadi kalau misalkan ada orang yang main TikTok ya gue nggak masalah. Nggak skeptis duluan gitu loh, paham gak sih? Kan ada orang yang kayak Nora gitu kan. Kayak TikTok gini gitu kan. Ya dulu gue juga main TikTok awal-awal pandemi. Ya kalau yang lu tonton interest lu sesuai dengan apa yang dengan karakter lu ya nggak masalah. Iyalah nggak cukup lagi. Tidak. Ini monsternya apa? 3 doang sih. Lama di itu ya. Bentar. Ada EM kali ya. Gue lebih ke arah pasarnya sih. Ya kan di TikTok cepet dapat followers tau.
Burst forth.
Go.
Wind strike.
FVP mah menurut gue sih bagus. Oh iya.
Dawn, break forth!
Sebenarnya FYP kan ditentukan sama interest kita kan, apa yang kita nonton, apa yang kita cari. Jadi nggak masalah lah.
Wow.
Live. Witness my great undertaking.
Duh, kayaknya nggak bisa deh, gue harus ganti tim kom deh. Nggak sanggup. Emang harus pakai Yula sih, fix. Pakai Yula terus bawahnya Kazuha. Nyerah. Yula terus siapa lagi? Fendi kali ya. Fendi Cici. Gini. Bawahnya baru di look kah? Kan Suha di look. Kazuha di look. Ini Diona atau Coba band aja. Benul, beneran betul. Anjir, udah lama banget gak ngeliat tuh kata. Zaman gue SMA sama awal kuliah. Benul.
Think you can get away?
Order guide.
Kalau gue follow IG lo, gue dapat dipastikan mendapatkan followers baru nggak bih kira-kira. Ah, maksudnya?
Crush.
Lo ngomong apa sih? Aduh, gue nggak konsen lagi, sorry. Maksud lo apa?
Beg for mercy.
Kalau gue follow IG lo, gue pastiin
Shudder.
bih itu apa? Gak lebih.
Beg
Apa
for
sih?
mercy.
Lo ngomong apa sih?
More speed.
Gak, ini bukan lo yang salah ngomong sih, gue lagi nggak konsen soalnya. Maksudnya kalau lu follow IG gue dapat followers baru dari lu gitu, dapat traffic dari lu,
Let's play.
atau gimana?
Solidify.
Rise. Crush.
Di fallback gitu. Oh, alah. Ribet lu ngomongnya. Fallback dong. Kalau temen gue fallback kok pasti. Temen gue fallback biasanya.
Rack and ruin.
Oh, alah. Di fallback ya, fallback. Follow aja dulu. Lalu mah.
I will have order. Gather.
Belum apa-apa udah insecure lu.
Crush.
Emang udah nge-follow? Pertanyaan gue itu dulu dah, emang lu udah nge-follow?
Crush. More speed.
Nice, oke, OTW follow. Oke, silakan.
Solidify.
Sok mangga.
Shudder.
Gue tunggu konten lu di Instagram, karena gue nggak main TikTok.
Witness the power of good. Teamwork is dreamwork.
As one with wind and cloud.
Flames. Purge.
Tapi lu tahu Instagram gue? Risetnya dalam juga.
Flames. Purge.
Rain cutter. I'm going in.
Dawn, break forth!
Everybody stand. Witness the power of Gugwa. Know my sword.
Lay waste to the wicked!
Mana satu lagi?
Suffocate!
Wheel of life. Think you can get away? Brace yourself.
Haha, syukurin lo. Tarik kan lo.
Beg for mercy.
Wah, gambar lu GG Gaming abis. Ah, biasa aja. Bagusan Feli.
I condemn
Jauh
you.
cuy, gambar gue masih biasa aja sumpah. Masih noob.
Stabilize!
Orders given. Orders received.
Order guide you!
Vengeance will be mine. Beg for mercy. Eye for an eye.
Beda niche kalau sama Feli. Emang kalau yang lu lihat niche gue termasuk apa? Soalnya menurut
Time to go.
gue sama Feli sama-sama gambar fan art gitu loh.
Know my sword.
Kayak nggak ada yang berbeda dengan gue dan Feli.
The wind knows.
Tapi mungkin art style iya sih, beda sih.
Birds come.
Flames, purge!
Teamwork is dreamwork. Huh? Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse.
Flames, purge!
Tapi Feli wibu juga. Parah lu.
Into the wind.
Iya, dia kan konten kreator Genshin.
Adorn my night.
Dia udah naik kelas, cuy.
Dawn, break forth! Gather!
Rise.
Naik kelas gimana tuh? Iya, dia kelasnya tuh udah beneran konten kreator profesional gitu anjay. Si Feli. Dia kan official konten kreator Genshin.
I condemn you.
Jatuhnya official bukan ya? Pokoknya dia gabung ke dalam satu komunitas fan art Genshin official gitu deh. Kata gue juga kurang paham banget sih sama sistem kerjanya kayak gimana. Cuman itu yang gue tahu.
Shudder.
Dibayar sama Genshin. Kalau dibayar gue nggak tahu sih. Tapi dia kayak kalau
Beg for mercy.
Genshin kan punya komunitas gitu ya, Hoyolab ya. Itu nggak cuman Genshin doang sih. Game-game lain juga. Dia kayak dapat sih istilahnya gue bingung. Dapat apa tuh namanya?
Crush.
Tempat khusus lah untuk konten kreator, kayak diberi ruangan khusus lah.
Rack and ruin.
Jadi kayak postingan dia kayak bisa mudah di atas gitu loh. Apa sih gue ngomong apa sih gak jelas banget sumpah. Sorry gue lagi ini.
Shudder.
Elah setan.
Opening box of Adepti tricks.
Careless. This is order.
Nggak tahu, lu tanya Feli aja deh, nanti gue takut salah informasinya. Pastiin lagi aja ke Feli. Sistem kerja dia sebagai konten kreator Genshin gimana?
Brace yourself. Crush. Yeah. Think you can get away? Yahoo!
Solidify.
Go. Shudder. More speed. Eye for an eye.
Susah banget kok lari-lari sih Thunder Manifestnya. Kemarin nggak kayak gitu kok.
Rain cutter.
Nyebelin deh.
The wind knows it. There can be
Ah, shit.
use or defeat.
Oh, sorry. Nggak terima gue kayak gini nih.
Everybody stand back.
Clouds high.
Berkata kasar. Lu nge-stream cuman iseng atau buat seriusin sih? Sebenarnya kalau ada kesempatan gue mau serius, cuman kan ternyata tidak disangka-sangka gue magang nih di Bandung. Ya jadi gue sementara waktu nggak bisa lanjut nge-stream dulu gitu loh sampai magang gue selesai. Tapi setelah magang selesai pun, ya kurang lagi. Tapi setelah magang selesai pun, gue juga belum tentu bisa langsung kerja atau enggak. Mungkin kalau misalkan gue selesai magang, gue bisa lanjut nge-stream. Kalau misalkan gue keterima sebagai karyawan tetap ya gue berhenti. Sayangnya. Ngulang lagi. Capek deh. Kayak apa ya? Udah anjir, Diona aja deh. Diona sama Fenty tuh. Gini kali ya. Pek Cahyo Timur. Kenapa Cahyo? Pek doang, gak sopan. Hei, Anda berhubungan dengan siapa? Gini aja apa? Triple cryo nggak tuh? Triple pyro nggak tuh? Coba deh. Oh, jadi lo emang gak ada goals gitu ya untuk YouTube? Goals sih ada. Kalau goals tuh ada, Ibel. Tapi mungkin gak seserius orang lain karena maksudnya gue dapat magang itu juga nggak disangka-sangka gitu loh. Gue tuh sebenarnya udah bikin konten untuk sebulan ke depan, konten plan untuk gue sendiri. Tapi ternyata tidak disangka-sangka di tengah gue membuat konten dapat magang gitu. Jadi ya udah, lanjutkan lah. Maksudnya rezeki kan jangan ditolak. Terus kesempatan juga buat ketemu sama orang baru kan, siapa tahu dia emang nemu koneksi gitu.
Beg for mercy.
This is order.
Shalom. Waalaikumsalam.
Gather.
Brace yourselves. Vengeance will be mine. Crush.
Seruduk gak tuh?
I condemn you. Time for takeoff. Here we go. Look at you, Boomtown. I'm a rock.
Order guide you.
Mau spiral dulu ntar balik lagi. Oke, good luck Cahyo. Semoga full star. Susah banget floor 11-nya ternyata.
Another test subject.
Gokil. Salah gue.
The wind knows me.
Mau buka Chrome laptop, kentangku menjerit. I know how that feel dah di sana.
On my knight.
Spiral dulu deh.
Fine. One with nature.
Another test subject.
Ini agak aneh sih Kazuha tapi tim komnya pyro semua aja.
Wind and cloud.
Ya udahlah ya. Penting gue menang. Full star di akun saya. Di akun Alif tidak bisa full star. Emang Alif susah full star akunnya Cahyo? Jadi ini mau spiralin akun kamu atau akun Alif? Yuk. Lu magang di Bandung deket tuh sama rumahnya Kang Asep. Kang Asep siapa lagi? Aduh. Mulai deh. Recehnya mulai anjir.
Beg for mercy.
Susah. Pakai siapa emang? Dua-duanya.
Blood of frost.
Serius. Gue kira yang di build gitu. Gue kira Alif akunnya di build loh. Soalnya dia kan punya Hutao ya. Ganyu, punya Ganyu, punya Xiao. Kayak Big Three Liwe dia udah punya. Emang abis kemarin berapa? Dapat berapa di akun Alif? Masih di sini nggak lo?
Think you can get away?
Cahyo masih di sini kah? Apa udah pindah? Nanti kita cerita-cerita ya, Alif. Kita cerita-cerita ya Cahyo ya.
Crush. and ruin.
Semenjak punya Ayaka sini punya saya pegang. Tuh enak lagi ada Ayaka. Harusnya lebih easy full start. Dia ada Mona juga lagi. Elah. Friscom kelar.
Solidify.
Tidak apa-apa meski laptop saya menjerit. No, jangan dipaksakan. Gue jadi merasa bersalah.
The wind knows that.
Flames. Purge.
One with nature.
Everybody stand back.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Flames.
Gue juga punya dual kris batik. Apa sih, Ibel? Lu mainnya keris. Baik. Duelis. Dua pedang. Tapi pedangnya pedang keris. Anjay.
This is order.
Here we go. Diana special. Vengeance will be mine. Crush.
Stabilize.
Time for takeoff. Brace yourselves.
Alah.
Pew pew.
Sabar ya, gengs. Masalahnya karakter di akunnya Alif belum terbuild dengan standar yang ketentuannya berlaku. Oh, really? Gue baru tahu. Aku mainin akun Alif kayaknya cuma sekali deh. Waktu itu cuma beliin dia Welkin sih. Udah selebihnya, terus habis itu main Xiao sebentar. Terus habis itu udah. Beli skin dulu kah? Iya, beli akhirnya. Skin pertama aku di Genshin.
Where'd that come from? Think you can bully me?
Elah, anjir. Loncat-loncat mulu nih, kampret. Emosi gue main ini. Gampang loh, padahal setahu gue Thunder Manifest tuh nggak sesusah ini.
Eye for an eye.
Ada caranya nggak sih, Cahyo? Mainin ini. Lawan Thunder Manifest. Oh, alhamdulillah, untung burstnya crit. Ini Alif yang diomongin. Alif yang rumahnya di situ itu kan. Iya, di situ, bener. Nah, rumahnya deket tiang listrik kebetulan. Alif yang rumahnya deket tiang.
As one with wind and cloud.
I'm going in. Out of the brush pit, into the fire. Eat this.
Mana satu lagi? Oh, ini.
Ways to the wicked.
Pakai hutau lah. Ah. Aduh, capek banget ya Allah. Aduh, serpen. Kampret. Yang ada selokannya juga, Kak. Iya, benar. Kalau nggak rumah nggak ada selokan, banjir. Spek PC-nya apa, Kak? Jangan tanya gue dong. Semua gue nggak tahu. Aku pakai laptop Asus VivoBook, udah. Hanya itu yang bisa aku kasih tahu. Terus apa ya? Pakai AMD Radeon Ryzen 5. Udah itu aja. Yang tertera di laptopnya sih seperti itu ya, Cahyo ya. Pakai, kalau tim gue kemarin pakai apa ya? Bentar, mau cek Hoyolet. Aku cek Hoyolet bentar ya. Mau lihat tim yang aku pakai di Abyss kemarin. Yuhu. Personal homepage. Spiral Abyss. Yang kemarin mana? Previous Lunar Phase. View more. Loh kok nggak ada? Oh ini. Kaget gue. I see. Ntar cocok kayak. Oh, gue pakai Raiden nasional di sini. Ini pakai siapa ya enaknya? Fenty atau siapa enaknya? Pakai build lama gue nggak sih? Aduh bingung aku tuh. Atau pakai ini Visual. Jangan Visual, meledak males. Barbara. Hydro cuma punya 2 set. Nggak usah sih. Cryo ya, cryo hipotasis. Oke. Fenty. Oke, Diona deh. Aku bingung. Kok bagus kah saya pakai core 2. Pictun anjay spiral yoi. Gue udah terlalu receh nih kayaknya Fer. Iya nih masih pagi udah receh aja nggak jelas. Kok bagus kah saya pakai core? Bennetku C6 kak. Sama Bennetku juga C6 kok. Dan aku tidak menyesal. Hehe.
I will have order.
Shaken and stirred.
Feel this ancient power.
Dawn, break forth.
Udah pagi sih lebih tepatnya gue. Oh lu anaknya begadang. Bukannya tidur lu kocak.
Stabilize.
Lu nggak tidur aja sih. Kan lu nganggur. Jadi tidur pagi nggak masalah. Mau bangun jam berapa juga.
To the wicked.
Hehe. Harusnya bawa Kazuha anjay.
Burst forth. Witness
Gak
a
enak
great
sih.
undertaking.
Lo kok? Ya error. Ya,
This is order.
ku temenin dah sampai full start. Ih, makasih lo, Cahyo lo. Makasih lo. Udah mau nemenin aku sampai full start.
And stirred. Diana special.
Coming to be.
Flames, purge.
Tapi kayaknya aku juga nggak mungkin kalau udah terlalu susah aku males full startin sih. Mungkin aku bakal off stream kalau bete. Tidak berusaha dengan keras nih anaknya kurang
Feel
emang.
this ancient power.
Order guide you. Solidify. Dawn, break forth.
Look at you.
Lynn.
Stabilize.
Sambil dengerin lo-fi girl anjay. Si paling lo-fi deh. Nggak enak. Harusnya mau ulang bentar. Nggak enak. Mau pakai siapa ya enaknya? Pengen ganti ke Kazuha. Dionya ganti ke Kazuha aja apa ya? Tapi Kazuha DPS anjay. Mana mau ganti build-nya Kazuhong. Mana Kazuha? Build-nya masih pakai build yang lama. Kita ganti dulu ya Beb ya. Ganti build-nya dulu. Tapi ini full EM. Ya, sebenarnya gue ingin mengisarakan pupil dan organ-organ di bagian mata. Thank you. Oke, thank you Ibel udah mau mampir. See you. Aku mau gacha. Good luck gacanya. Mau gacha siapa? Semoga hoki. Oke, good luck. Good luck Cahyo. Semoga dapet ya. Gacakli atau Kazuha? Phew. Oke, siapa waktu itu ya? Oh, ini cukup lah. Gini aja kali ya. Waduh. Dapat tukang bersih-bersih. Hah, tukang bersih-bersih siapa? Heizo. Waduh, referensiku kejauhan gak tuh? Gacha di Kazuha. Oh. Good luck. Mantap, mantap. Cus. Udah, gini aja deh. Udah lah ya.
Aristocratic etiquette.
Toma. Oh, Toma. Kemarin aku dapetnya malah siapa ya? Bennett. Oh ya, Toma juga deh. Tapi Bennett anjir udah C6 masih dikasih. Heran. Red up gak sih Bennett? Enggak ya? Kemarin dapetnya Bennett, entah kenapa. Baru deh Raiden National. Doakan aku semoga aku full star dengan tanganku sendiri.
One with nature. Clouds high. The birds call. Wind strike.
This is order.
Lebih enak ini ya.
Moment of birth. The wind knows it. As one with wind and cloud. Burst forth.
Aduh, gimana? Aduh, bingung.
Coming to be.
Lay waste to the wicked. I will have order. Solidify. Dawn, break forth. Order guide you. Stabilize.
Live. Feel this ancient power. Wind strike. Coming to be. Into the wind.
This is order. Gather.
Live.
Flames, purge.
Dah. Ya udahlah. Yang penting menang. Yang penting full star. Bismillah. 36 full star.
What a lucky day.
Rain cutter. Know my sword. Huh? Teamwork is
Salah.
dream.
Adalah.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
Adalah ininya elektro. Ya wes lah.
There is no escape. Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Huh? Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion.
Gak cocok ya pakai Raiden nasional ya di sini. Tidak.
Shine down.
Ya nambah. Salah pencet.
Let's light it up. Everybody step. Rain cutter. No, my sword.
Ya elah. Nggak bisa gini. Nggak ngelihat waktu. Tak terlihat waktunya. Gimana caranya ya?
Coming to be. The wind knows me.
Nah,
Clouds high. The birds call.
I will have order.
Into the wind. Moment of birth.
Flames, purge.
flame purge.
As one with wind and cloud.
Order guide you. Stabilize.
Live.
Dawn, break forth.
Dawn, break forth.
This is order. Solidify.
Coming to be. Witness my great under. Clouds high. The birds come.
Waste to the wicked.
Waste to the wicked. Aku perlu konsentrasi penuh, guys.
Dawn, break forth.
Bisa lah ya, full star nih.
There is no escape. I'm going in. Let me read you a verse.
Tadi kayak karena nggak konsen aja deh.
Rain outlines your fate. You're toast.
Bisa Dragon Strike tidak? Dragon Strike tuh apa? Aku nggak tahu. Sorry.
Get them. Shine down. Witness the power of the wild. Everybody stand back. Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish.
Ternyata Electrores.
Rain cutter. Know my sword. Rain outlines your. Eat this. Nice and spicy. Teamwork is dreamwork. Torn to oblivion.
Mana cukup anjir.
Let me read you a verse.
Jangan nambah. Gak bisa dong pakai Raiden di sini. Gimana ya? Ini aja deh.
Stabilize.
The wind knows me. Fallen leaves adorn my night.
Gak baca efek,
I
gak
will
baca
have
bug,
order.
gak baca leyline.
Solidify.
Moment of birth.
Flames, purge. This is order. Stabilize.
Clouds hide. The birds call. One with nature.
Dawn, break forth.
Burst forth. Witness my great undertaking.
Order guide you.
one with wind and cloud. Wind strider.
Ways to the wicked.
Kazuha full super sama elemen, ada elemen buat visual. Oh ya? Ya udah terlanjur ganti itu sih. Di PS ala-ala 2 Shime 2 Hyo. Kok dia cepet banget sih, udah numbuh lagi aja nih. Kampret kan. Bentar, keluar dulu deh. Yang di scroll elemen apa? Apa ganti Raidennya di itu nggak sih? Kazuha. Tapi jangan. Apa sih, gue bingung jadi. Ini full EM aja nih, doi. Ya udah, coba deh. Sama bawa Singchu buat Vapo. Di mana itu first half atau second half? Yang pertama apa yang kedua? AM. AM-nya mana? Pertama aja barengin Singchu. Coba deh kamu bantuin aku atur itunya deh. Nih, ini siapa aja nih? Diluc, Singchu, terus Singchu pertama. Terus siapa lagi? Sama bagian 2-nya, tolong. Lontong. Tolong aku. Aduh, pegel. Venti kah? Venti apa Kazuha bagusnya di atas? Diluc, Singchu, Kazuha, Zhongli. Oh gini. Diluc, Singchu, Kazuha, Kazuha, Zhongli. Gini aja. Yang kedua? Yang kedua pakai apa? Oh, Xiao. Bisa kah? Xiao. Oke. Ruin Carters. Xiao tuh biasa sama siapa sih mainnya? Gini kak, jangan. Sama Albedo kali ya? Xiangling Bennett? Nggak cocok. Visual Bennett. Yan Fei Bennett. Aku bingung. Yan Fei Bennett gak sih? Gini? Cocok gak sih? Gue nge-build Yan Fei di PS soalnya kebetulan. Ruin Garder semua sih ya. Yaudah. Kita coba ya. Xiao, Albedo, Bennett, Anemo terserah. Anemonya Jean kali ya? Jean apa Venti bagusan? Kayak bagusan Jean Bennett. Ini. Nah, ini ya. Oke nggak? Sudah oke atau belum? Udah, aku anggap oke ya. Buat baterai. Iya. Si si Jana baterai nggak sih? Burstnya? Kok nggak paham gini-ginian nih? I'm so sorry lah. Gas. Oke, sip. Mari kita gas. EM kali ya? Salah kan? Salah, pencet.
Into the wind.
Witness the power of Gugwa. Know my sword.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Dawn, break forth! Gather!
Rain cutter. Rain outlines your fate.
Wind strider.
This is order. Stabilize.
As one with wind and cloud.
Dawn, break forth!
Let me weave you a verse.
Konsentrasi penuh banget nih.
Flames, purge!
Diem aja. Masih beradaptasi dengan spiral period baru, guys. Jadi gitu deh.
Order guide you. Solidify.
Know my sword. Rain outlines your fate. Rain.
Dawn, break forth. I will have order.
Ya ampun, nggak nge-crit. Pelit banget sih critnya ya, si crit gue kecil sih emang sih, set.
One with nature.
Flames, purge!
Susah mainnya. Oh, tidak.
Let's get down to business. Coming to be.
I'm going in. Barbados, guide us.
Useless. Disappear. Here. Here. Worthless. Useless. Burst forth.
Adventure time.
Moment of birth.
Susah. Coba lagi. Lama di first half-nya, anjir. Gimana dong? Elah. Attack aja apa ya? Aduh, bingung deh.
Let me weave you a verse.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds call.
Solidify. Waste to the wicked.
Keep doing. Thank you, Tikchun. Yes, I have to pick the wing.
Dawn, break forth. This is order.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Witness the power.
Oh shit.
outlines your fate.
Order guide you. Dawn, break forth!
As one with wind and cloud.
Rain cutter, know my sword. Rain outlines your fate.
Nyau ah. Capek deh. Capek deh. Terus capek banget.
Get down to business. Coming to be.
Oke, gini caranya.
I swear by my sword.
Witness my great undertaking. Lament.
There's more!
Here. Boom. Worthless. Here.
Let me try.
Burst forth.
Let's light it up.
Yaelah, energinya kurang loh. Yang bener aja dong.
Everybody stand back.
Evil conquering.
I'm ready.
Here. Here. Get out of my.
Gimana? Ih, Cahyo tolongin dong. Capek ngeselin.
Barbados, guide us.
Atau enggak ini aja Fenty pertama Kazuha tim 2. Tapi tim pertama udah enak pakai Kazuha. Abang. Astagfirullah. Jangan DPS-nya jangan jangan Xiao deh, susah sumpah. Gua belum biasa pakai Kazuha kan. Gua nggak biasa pakai Xiao deh kayaknya. Yang party pertama udah oke, gue nggak mau pindah-pindahin lagi. Gini aja deh urutannya. Siapa ya? Shangwei. Gini. Kyo Pyro anjay. Gini aja deh, coba dulu ya. Susah cuy. Try hard nih bos. Kalau ada 2 CC pakai aja masing-masing 1. Oh iya ya. Ntar deh, coba dulu deh bentar.
Gather.
The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call.
Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword.
I will have order. Solidify.
As one with wind and cloud.
Ya, berarti 1 Fenty, 1
Race
Kazuha
to the
nggak sih?
wicked.
Witness the power of the wild. Rain outlines your fate.
Tai.
Wind strike.
Jadi toksik kan gua. Parah banget. Genshin.
This is order. Stabilize.
Into the wind.
Flames, purge.
Rain cutter.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Order guide you. Flames, purge.
Sabar, sabar. Masih floor 1 loh. Room 1, ya peruangan 1. Buset dah. Buset dah, buset dah. Udah kalau nggak bisa mau istirahat dulu. Mau quest aja. Lanjut quest Kazuha.
Burst forth.
I'm going in. You're toast. Don't waste my time. Submit.
Ningguang main nih bos.
Come into
Senggol
being.
dong.
Feel this ancient power.
Lu ke situ.
Live.
Your life is mine.
Come into being.
Let's light it up. Boba, get them. Don't waste my time. Nice and spicy. Teamwork is dreamwork. It's nothing.
Oh iya, gua kan udah pakai lost prayer ini ya. Lupa. Tapi kok kayaknya nggak keras-keras amat ya.
Witness my great undertaking.
Wah GG sing baning turun yoi. Baru dapat lost prayer nih bos. Gagal dapat free sword. Tapi nggak apa-apa sih.
Your life is mine.
Nggak masalah. Jadi kelarin dulu deh. Mati dong. Udah ya, keluar dulu ya. Tapi ternyata nggak gede-gede banget ya buildnya. Tapi baru level 70 deh kayaknya. Si ini nih. Oh ya bener, pantesan. Hehe. Primo gemnya udah primo gem. Resinnya udah habis duluan, belum bisa itu deh. Base attack-nya kecil banget ternyata. Masih level 70 sih, cuman ya udah. Lah. Yuk kita cari yang lain yuk. Kita ngapain enak ya? BP. Mau kelarin itu dulu apa? Questnya si Kajuha. Aku mau bawa suami aku Suami aku. Mana suami?
Let's investigate this further. Want me to come along?
Di terakhirnya bawa siapa ya? Ningguang deh.
Let's make haste.
Istri aku. Istri. La. Explore golden approachable. Golden. Iya pengen itu ke pulau. Cuma pengen kelarin quest Kazuha dulu deh. Tanggung soalnya udah di tengah. Semalam udah main. Hehe. Soalnya kemarin gak bisa tidur. Belum lama sih. Gila, 2 Anemo, 2 Geo. Metaslave menangis melihatin. Oke, kita lanjut. Bentar, gue mau ambil minum sebentar.
If it isn't Kaegahara Kazuha, what brings you here today?
Grafik set apa? Medium? Grafik set Genshin kan?
You two know each other?
You two know each
Yes.
other?
The Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Yes, you may recall the story of the Raiden Gokaden from the Iridori Festival.
Though all bladesmiths trace their craft back to the same source, over time, each of us has arrived at a different blade-making philosophy, spawning the development of different branches of the same art. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right.
IndiHomeku merah
Ishin
terus
art
anjir.
strives for complete harmony between blade and
Ngaruh di
mind
tempat
from
daerah
the
juga
moment
nggak
that
sih?
forging
Aku nggak pakai
begins.
IndiHome sih.
For only a blade thus forged can
Kan
capture
aku
and
di Jakarta
convey
juga.
its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic.
Kenapa?
The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We
Sebentar,
hope to assist with the
sebentar.
investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryo Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryo Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody
Aku selalu
knows what
berada
really
di
happened.
belakang punggungmu di kala kau memiliki punggung biru lain. Berapa aku memiliki arahku?
Any thoughts on what Yuya
Apaan
may have
sih?
wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts,
Tidak
particularly
peka.
when it comes
Ya
to the
maaf,
art of the
bocil
sword.
kehidupan.
Truth be told,
Cuma kamu suka
we
sama
have
aku.
some information that you may find to
Selalu aku
be
berada di belakang
objectionable.
punggungmu.
The person we
Kalau
are
memiliki
looking
punggung
for,
pria lain, baru aku
he
melihat
attacked
aku
this friend of
kesana.
mine.
Geli
Based
banget
on
sih.
the evidence we have gathered so far,
Aduh.
only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, It's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry, you have our word.
From the sound of that,
Oh, jadi nggak konsen gue dipanggil-panggil dulu.
attacked us as well.
Sorry ya.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other.
Sambil makan ya.
Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Tipe cowoknya kaya, ganteng, soleh. 3 itu aja. Sama yang kalem nih, kayak Albedo, kayak Kazuha gitu. Atau yang nggak banyak ngomong kayak Xiao.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now.
Ciri-ciri
My
pertama aja
husband has
gagal ya.
gone missing, and I'm
Emang gue
still
mau
trying
sama
to
lu?
find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started
Biru
buying more
semua.
and more things.
Apanya biru
And
semua?
even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them.
Blue screen
Our
PC-nya.
expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy
Gacha.
he's happy and I'm willing to support
Masih
him.
gacha loh.
But making ends meet has to come first.
Jangan
I've
satu-satu lah.
tried talking to him about it so many
Mana
times,
asik
but
satu-satu.
he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
And that led to an argument.
Actually,
Tapi
it
kalau
didn't.
cowok jarang ngomong diem-dieman, but
He's a
kayak
quiet man
kelihatan kayak
who
ijat,
likes to go with
kocak.
the flow.
Kecuali ganteng kan.
On most things, he leaves
Iyalah.
the decision-making to me. You must
Good looking nomor
understand, I
1.
never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze. And was
Tapi
silent for a
balik
long
lagi,
time.
good looking ya juga harus soleh lah,
When he
etiketnya
finally spoke,
bagus,
he
nggak
awkwardly mumbled that he
semena-mena.
would pick out a few items
Gitu.
to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that
Biasanya
I felt
kalau
the
good
urge to take
looking
everything
dan
back.
attitude-nya baik, dia bakal lebih merendah.
If I didn't
Nggak
draw the line,
sombong.
what would happen to our family?
Aduh, gue juga jadi nggak konsen sama
If we
ceritanya.
hadn't indulged his
Ceritanya apa
bad
sih?
habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has
Kazuha
never
nanti
been one
dapat
to
pedang. Dah
negotiate.
itu aja.
He never even haggles
Oh,
when he's
pedang
out buying
B4 Kazuha.
groceries, so
Wow.
it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the
Tapi entah
warehouse
kenapa
burned down.
teman-teman seangkatan gue kebanyakan
Perhaps
yang
he's too
cakep-cakep
afraid to
mau
come
jadian sama
home
Jamet.
now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to
Ya
pay
itu
off
kan
the
teman
debts.
seangkatan lu. Lingkupannya
Even
cuman
though I'm still a
sekolah
little
apa
mad at
kampus
him,
doang.
we're a family.
Belum ke
I
dunia
want us
luar.
to face our family's crisis together. As
Banyak
long
lah
as
yang
he's
ganteng
willing to
attitude
turn over
balik.
a new
Baik.
leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Ame no Mayuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Apa ya pendapat gue ya?
Well, Paima was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Kocak.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Ame no Mayuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Ame no Mayuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes.
Sabtu-sabtu gini libur tak ada kerjaan, pengen buat sketsa wajah tapi sadar skill pas-pasan. Ya justru itu karena skill pas-pasan yang dilatih ya tuh. Nanti juga bagus. Gambarlah sesuka hati, nanti akan menemukan kunci yang enak buat digambar. Anjay.
Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Ame no Mayuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker. Namely, that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and
Itu
Mrs.
sampai jam
Nagato
11
will
deh
be able to
streamnya.
get some
Jam
closure.
12. Jam 11 mau siap-siap dulu.
But where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Oke. Kita ke gudang. Jadi gimana sih ceritanya, kan ada yang nyari Kazuha. Terus Kazuha siapa? Nyari siapa yang mau nyari dia. Ternyata nemu misteri baru kalau ada pedang di gudang yang kebakar. Gitu kah maksudnya? Ada gudangnya di sini.
Wait,
Apa
I
nih?
hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound.
Ini ada pedang
Right
warna
around
ungu,
here
terus kita
somewhere.
gunain sampai warnanya hilang. Yo? Apa itu?
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in.
Gak jago
It
banget
felt
Kazuha
very
kayak
much
Cenayang.
like that ancient presence in Inazuma, the remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has
Nanti
long since
pedang warna
left
ungu,
this
terus kita
place.
gunain sampai warnanya hilang.
But the
Habis itu
residue
tempa
it
sama
left
Kazuha kena
behind
rusak.
still
Dan itu
hasn't
buat kita.
dissipated
Oh,
completely. Judging from the concentration,
itu pedang gratisnya kah?
I would have to
Dari
conclude
Kazuha,
that the
buat Kazuha.
Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's
Dapat berapa?
unfulfilled
R5?
will.
Ada R5-nya nggak?
Their interests
Cuman R1
become fanatical obsessions.
pedangnya.
Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside.
Bahaya,
If we
sayang.
don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth.
Bener sih, tapi
You
hati-hati ya
needn't
sayang.
worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this.
Anjay.
Relatively
Kayaknya
speaking,
cuman
the risk
R1
here
ya,
is
sayang
trivial.
banget. Coba bisa diulang terus ininya. Diulang-ulang terus storynya. Kazuha, hati-hati sayang.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire
Kazuha
caused
makin
a
lihat
cave
makin
in,
manis ya. Ih
reducing
gila,
the entire warehouse
manis
to
banget,
rubble.
sumpah kalem, adem ngeliatnya. Ngomongnya juga santun. Oh,
That was too scary. Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us.
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them.
Ayo berangkat.
Let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Oke. Semangat. Ikuti baunya, cari petunjuk. Oh, ini sense. Ya pakai Kazuha biar mantep. Gila, baunya ada gambarnya. Buset. Kill dulu deh. Mana. Mengheal. Ding. Ini aja deh. Tapi tetap Arataki itu kalau husbu ebel, gagah berotot, tinggi, jago ngelawak, tapi bodoh. Itu si itu tuh badut taifat, weh. No offense, tapi lucu. Gue suka karakteristik si Ito, cuman kalau untuk jadi husbuable kayaknya nggak ada, terlalu childish menurut gue sifatnya. Nggak ada yang bisa ngalahin Geodaddy selain Zhong Li. Sumber utama kekuatan Tatarigami sudah berhenti. Pergi meninggal ini, namun masih sedikit tersisa. Nagato. Ayo kita periksa. Oke.
Let's search the area.
Ayo sayang, kita temukan.
Look at all those hilly churls. They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Sama Diluc cocok dijadiin husbu, kaya, ganteng, badass, Batman Mondstadt ya, itu masih acceptable, tapi Diluc bukan husbu aku sayangnya. Tipe gue bukan Diluc sih, cuman kalau Diluc ponytail, wah enggak, gantengnya nambah 1000%.
What is it?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. Well, let's take a look.
Apa nih, namaku Nagato. Aku telah ditebas oleh Ameno Mayuya. Dia mengambil pedangku yang berat. Aku berusaha mengejarnya tapi gagal. Aku sangat lelah. Aku berbaring sehingga istirahat. Perutku terus mengeluarkan darah. Aku sudah tidak sanggup. Sekarang kekuatan bisa menopangku. Kenapa dia merebut pedangku pada aku? Tidak. Aku sudah bilang akan jual padanya, bahkan dia membakar gudangku. Oh, sakit sekali sekarang. Tapi aku tidak boleh pingsan. Aku menulis catatan ini mengalihkan perhatianku rasa sakitnya. Sachiko, Yuji, dan Yuji. Aku berhasil menjawab mereka. Jadi sekarang aku bersadar untuk berhasil aku bahkan semua sakit. Pada akhir aku sudah menggaul begitu banyak benda-benda, tapi kalau tidak bahagia dan tidak ada orang
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Ameno Mayuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato.
Aku tadi sebelum kesini lihat Lo-Fi Girl, terus ada firasat kalau Anda live, makanya saya langsung pindah ke sini. Oh, firasat kamu benar, Cahyo. Kadang kurang setuju kalau orang menyebutnya Xiao jadi husmu, kalian jelas-jelas kelihatan kayak bocah ya, Xiao, pendek dan anak papa juga. Tapi apa ya? Masih husbuable tahu kalau Xiao tuh. Dia masih ada sisi apa ya, sisi dewasanya mungkin. Kalau pendek bantet kan ya itu kan hanya fisik.
Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could.
Dia masa udah sekarat si Nagato masih bisa nulis surat sepanjang itu.
So,
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point. Yes, right now we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right. So let's get moving.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected, it seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance.
Wait, you figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger.
Kesimpulannya, only Kamisato Ayato yang memenuhi kriteria. Kaya, ganteng, tenang, kalem, manis, sayang adik. Mungkin ya. Tapi sayangnya kalau gue pribadi, Ayato bukan tipe gue karena nggak tahu sih, kayak nggak aja gitu. Nggak tahu kenapa. Mungkin karena gue merasa husbu gue udah 3, kayak gue nggak bisa nambah-nambah lagi deh. Udah cukup Xiao, Albedo, Kazuka.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time. Show yourself. It's no use hiding anymore.
Oh, gila pertama kali denger suara dia tegas teriak gitu. Oh, ini yang nyerang kita tadi ya.
Kaede Harakazua. It's you, at last.
Aku tidak sabar.
So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh?
What's your problem?
We have against Kazuha.
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Wah.
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa! Surely you don't mean...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no
Oh,
Mayuya's
jadi tipe
body.
Yu yang pendek-pendek cebol. Kalau di Genshin iya, somehow gue juga nggak tahu kenapa. Soalnya yang bikin gue jatuh hati pertama kali Albedo kan. Terus habis itu pas ngeliat bocorannya Xiao jadi kayak naksir gitu. Terus ngeliat yang kalem kayak Kazuha juga jadi naksir. Ya mungkin kedepannya kalau ada husbu, geo, anemo yang pencet lagi. Anemo yang husbu-able, gue bakal ngesim sih mungkin. Mungkin ya. Soalnya ya gue tahu si Ayato tuh memenuhi kriteria husbu banget sih emang. Cuman there's something off about him di mata gue. Tahun-tahun lalu tempat.
As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, You should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of
How
my
about
own.
Chow? Enggak, dia badut.
Conceit,
No.
the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect
Dulu gue
blade in the
suka
entire
sama
world,
Chelsea.
but
Dulu pas
also
awal
an
main.
irreplaceable achievement in
Cuman
the
abis
art
itu
of
setelah
blade forging.
menyelesaikan Archon Quest nggak jadi.
Swords can become conscious and control people?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an
Tapi keren di
ordinary
trailer
weapon.
kok. Trailer yang baru ya?
But that gave me the opportunity to take action.
Iya, iya emang keren, dia
After
keren
the
kalau
death of
Natuna
my
Light, cuman
creator,
nggak
I decided to
mau
leave
jadi
Snezhnaya
husbandnya gue.
and began my
Hanya
long
maniat
quest to
gelut
return to the
aja.
distant land of Inazuma.
Bener sih.
Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired or injured or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaede Harakazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Tidak. No, don't give him. Don't give him. Saya, kamu jangan. Ini pakai build-nya. Oh, build ini ya? Tidak, aku tidak pakai build punya aku. Pakai apa senjatanya? Fillet anjir, gak jelas. Buset, di build support banget. Ayo sini loh. Pakai fillet.
Come into being. Moments of birth.
Join me and sever that divine light. We shall rewrite history.
Ih, jauh banget.
We shall rewrite history.
Boba Sword Raiden terbuat dari Ishin Art Sword Master, makanya nama skillnya Muso Ishin. Oh, yang lu dipegang tentaranya satu Korea cabang, gagal intinya.
Lost. I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more.
Maksudnya si pedang Ishin Art yang dirasukin ini salah satu karya punya itu.
He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take
Gimana
a new
sih?
vessel at will.
Muso Ishin. Maksudnya pedangnya Muso no Hitotachi itu burstnya Raiden sama pedangnya ini dibuat sama orang yang sama gitu. Tapi ini versi gagalnya. Iya enggak?
The end result is the same.
I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. By any means necessary and any medium
Iya, satu
available,
pembuat, tapi si
I
pembuat
shall
ini nggak
return
berhasil
and
menyalurkan.
fulfill
Makanya dia
my
ngerasa nggak malu, dia pergi ke
destiny.
SNES-nya. Oh,
Your
yang
fighting style.
pergi ke
It
SNES-nya
is
itu
indeed
pembuat
the forms of
pedangnya.
Ishin
Pembuat
art.
pedangnya siapa emang?
But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a
Aduh, gua
thinly
nggak
veiled
lagi sama
mania
ceritanya.
and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's
Yang bikin
thoughts
Ishin
and
art ini
feelings.
siapa?
Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask
Oh,
me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time.
kayak bentuk
You were
pedang
trapped.
Anemone Haren Ishin Art hadir mirip lah 17. Oh iya, yang agak
After all
melengkung
the
gitu ya,
time
emang
that's
kayak
passed,
samurai
you
ya?
have grown weak. To
Pedang
the point that
samurai.
you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this
Oh
ambition
iya,
is too
katana,
grand
sorry.
and too heavy for
Kalau
you to
samurai,
bear.
ya bener-bener.
Each
Sempat
step you have
kebalik
taken
tadi.
has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long
Yang
ago.
pedangnya samurai tadi
The
gue
more
bilang.
you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved
Samurai
grew,
itu,
and the more you wished to
bentar,
run from
gue
the
cari dulu.
truth.
Oh iya bener nih. Samurai kan orang ya bener-bener. Suka kebalik gue. Itu pedang yang gratisan mirip kayak punya signature Hayato si Haran. Fun fact, Haran Gapaku tuh yang buat anak dari yang buat senjata Ishin itu. Oh lore-nya lo tahu dalam juga ya soal lore pedang ini? Dia kan menyadari ketika kamu berusaha.
But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, how could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool.
Blabbering fool.
I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality.
No.
It's pointless to argue further. descendant of the Kaedahara clan. If you wish to
Enak
save
aja.
this man, then offer me your
Lepas dulu
body in
pedangnya.
exchange.
How stubbornly you stick
Nanti
to
jiwa
your
di
wayward
pedangnya bakal
path.
mati nggak kalau misalkan dibersihin?
I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the
Anjay.
test.
Gila.
Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Amenoma Yuya from your control.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
Ntar mati jiwa pedangnya. Tidak mungkin apa nih? Ini terlalu berisiko. Kamu akan melawan pedang terkutuk yang bisa memantra
This
manusia.
is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the blade's puppet.
He will
The
sacrifice
cursed blade's strength is currently
himself.
very
No.
weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This
Oh.
suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while. Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to
Kagak bakal
learn
mati,
too.
ditolong dong bentar. Masa?
Take me in your hand.
Tidak mungkin. Oh no. Oh no. No, Kazuha. Jangan mati sayang.
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
Tidak.
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
Ah, all right. Please lead the
Gak
way.
kuat banget Kazuha
What
megang
about
itu barang.
Amenoma Yuya? What should we do with
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his
Dia
own
pingsan apa gimana?
consciousness
Tapi
yet,
pingsan tapi berdiri.
he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's okay, fine. Just
No, Kazuha, no. Kemana nih? Domainnya di mana nih? Jauh. Gak lewat atas nggak sih? Dari atas nggak sih? Dari sini. Takutnya di atas. Kalau ini kan tebing kan ya. Oh, tempat yang sama kayak dulu ya, yang questnya Raiden ya? Oh, nggak salah. Story Raiden yang pertama. Lewat bawah aja. Udah terlanjur, bos. Nggak apa-apa. Deket kok. Siapa ini? Attention. No, thank you. Aku lagi quest dulu ya sayang, meskipun kamu albedo. Tanah lama diduduki. Anjay. Pakai anemo rekomendasinya, oke. Oke. Dah, di Kazuha sendiri lagi. Gak sopan. Oh yang bener aja dong masa. Let's see that. First Asian Blade. Anjay, gak cakep banget. Wah, gokil sih. Bener gak jelas banget ini settingan artefaknya emang.
Into the wind. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night. One with nature.
Satunya albedo enjoyer tidak bisa mabar. Gak gitu dong. Aku menerima semua orang, cuman karena momennya lagi kita lagi quest, jadi kan nggak bisa.
The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long
Lagi
without
kata
proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use.
Gue mau foto bagian sini. Bentar dulu. Gue mau foto dulu bentar. Bentar. Gue mau screenshot dulu bodo amat. Hehe. Nah bentar. Ntar save dulu. Nanti hilang. Mau save. Gila ganteng banget.
Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Screenshot lagi bentar. Jadi lama karena screenshot aja. Sabar ya viewersku. Terima kasih udah nemenin aku ngesim. Ini juga ganteng lagi. Screenshotnya 3 biji. Kocak. Ya udah gue save di Discord.
Something else on your mind?
Strange. Rather than trying to control me, he's instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Jawaban kasih. Iya juga. Ada chest. Curang nggak dapet. Oh dapet nih Primogen. Keren nggak dapet. Gila ada yang posisinya chill and feeling.
The wind knows me. My blade.
Sini lo.
Into the wind.
Sini lo.
One with wind and cloud. That hurts. One with nature.
Whoa, something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Ada chest, tidak.
Time to go.
Udah bisa turun ya kita. mana? Oh ini. Ya lah, masa biji doang. Aduh. Tempatnya bagus deh. Gue suka. Curang anjir. Biasanya tes begini kan ada kawannya. Kayak itu Devouring Desire deh. Iya gak sih? Kayak itunya apa? Senjata eventnya Albedo yang dulu. Senjatanya Bennett. Signaturnya Bennett.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really.
Yes. And it looked...
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see...
True form? What are you? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power.
Inazuma kayaknya country paling tertinggal dari segi fashion, kayak cuman kain diselempangin orang akunnya aja kayak kekurangan kain.
But regrettably, we are nothing alike.
Itu fan service way.
I will never understand
Dan emang
your
budayanya
obstinacy
kan kayak
and
gitu.
cruelty,
Jepang kan
nor
memang
can I
agak-agak
empathize with the one
kain-kain
who
doang
made
yang baju tradisionalnya.
The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup. We can help this time.
Anjay.
Don't worry, I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Dia ganti pedang apa? Fillet aja. Apa pakai fillet sih? Heran. Jelek banget.
One with nature.
Bersamaan.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Perfect distance.
Into the wind. That hurts.
Ya mati. Awas. Ya mati deh.
Wind strike.
Hampir. Gak bisa move on dari monster yang serba elegan.
Better with
Ya
your own
karena
sword.
emang latar belakangnya kan Eropa gitu, jadi lebih kelihatan lebih mewah di mata kita yang Asia. Fillet kan pemberian Beidou, kocak. Emang iya? Beidou kapan ngasihnya, yang di mana? Emang iya?
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together.
Gue lupa.
You have
Emang
seen
pernah
me for
Beidou
who I
ngasih
really
senjata ke
am.
Kazuha?
No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Kru kapal si Kazuha nih udah bukan samurai bangsawan lagi. Iya, maksudnya spesifik Beidou tuh ngasih senjata fillet tuh kenapa, kapan, dan gimana. Ada di story kah? Apa cuma di lore? Gue gak tahu soalnya. Sorry. Kakak udah dapat kode redam belum? Kamu punya kode redam? Minta dong.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic
Coba
blade that
baca
I
cerita
picked up
benang
during my
filletnya,
travels in
kan
Liyue.
berbau nelayan. Asumsi gue aja. Oh, kirain. Dulu fillet gue pakai buat Jayan aja. Somehow. Nggak cocok ya.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power: skill, blade, determination, and desire. All
Fillet
these
dada
must be
ayam.
aligned in the practice of
Bener
Ishin
juga.
art.
Minta kode redeem dong.
There is
Punya
something
nggak,
else I
Irfan?
must tell you.
Aku mau.
Though your maker may not have been aware,
Bentar lagi aku
your
off deh
ability
kayaknya.
to
Udah
possess
mau
your
jam
own
11.
consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by
Kecewepan
Tatarigami
pakai
was
teori kebalikan nggak
constantly
tadi?
trying
Enggak.
to seize control of my body.
Enggak. Udah kirim di atas. Mana? Nggak ada. Kayaknya ke hide deh. Bentar. Kayaknya di hide deh itunya. Oh ada. Oh ya ada. Ya di hide ternyata. Dianggap spam soalnya. Ntar nanti aku isi ya. Thank you. Gue tuh udah. Nih Cahyo. Aku tuh udah 3 kali berhasil nggak pakai teori kebalikan buat weapon. Jadi pertama kali kan aku di itunya di banner Raiden yang pertama kan Unforget sama itu senjatanya Raiden. Terus aku coba teori kebalikan ternyata nggak berhasil. Aku malah dapet Unforget. Akhirnya aku selalu pakai teori yang sebenarnya, yaitu pakai teori senjata yang kita pengen. Nah, terus ternyata gagal pas mau ambil free sword, dapatnya sih lost prayer, tapi nggak apa-apa sih.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to
Ya,
save
Yuya,
Amenoma
tapi
Yuya.
aku tidak tahu kamu juga punya
But I
teman.
do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I
Makasih yang
feel a
udah
great
mampir
sense of
ya.
regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination, the moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him this?
Ya, ya sebentar. Bentar dipanggil sama nyokap. Bentar. Oh, sorry. Iklan. Aku pakai teori nggak pencet senjata yang diinginkan. Jadi kalau kalah tetap 0/2. Aku teori pakai senjata nggak pencet senjata, aku malah red off. Waktu itu dapet Amos pas di bannernya Ayaka dulu yang pertama.
I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things.
Sudahkah? Masih lama nggak sih? Kalau masih lama, gue mau udahan dulu soalnya.
When I touched the hilt for the first
Udahan aja
time,
deh, janji jam 11 mau
it's as
itu,
if I
mau
was
siap-siap. Sorry
transported
guys,
to a
nggak
strange
bisa lama-lama.
dimension.
Ini kayak gue udah dari
It
jam
was
8 deh
somewhere I've never
ininya,
been.
live-nya. Tadi sempat keputus, nggak tahu kenapa.
A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed.
Oke, thank you
His frail
semua yang
face
udah tuh.
barely
Nanti abis
visible
keluar
under the
domain
moonlight.
gue udahan ya.
A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the Blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith, that they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn. He seems to have calmed down, though.
Sudahkah? Cutscene, oh enggak.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Amenoma Yuya. But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Amenoma Yuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot milder. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill.
Wah,
Told me. Alas, after that, he
sudah
never
tidak pernah
rose
bangun
from
dari
his
ranjang.
sickbed again.
Oh,
Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps you must have plenty of reasons to both hate.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up.
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed, if a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
Tarung lagi kah? Oh enggak. Alhamdulillah, kelar. Kalau kita nggak ngambil chestnya gimana ya? Bisa masuk lagi nggak ya? Oke, ya ampun, panjang juga ya questnya ya. Cuman gue nggak bisa lanjut nggak bisa lanjut sekarang karena gue harus pergi abis ini. Oke, thank you guys semua yang udah nonton. Insyaallah kalau sempet ya mungkin malam deh gue mau coba live lagi kalau sempet dan nggak capek. Karena gue harus ada keperluan dulu yang harus gue lakukan. Dan oke semua, makasih yang udah nonton. Sampai jumpa insyaallah nanti malam. Bye, assalamualaikum.